everyone, and welcome to Continuity 360. I'm Kira.
And I'm Michael, and this is the podcast where we talk about conventions, movies, TV, and video games.
Welcome to episode 4 of Continuity. This week we're covering our reactions to Star Wars, since we actually haven't talked to you since we've seen it. And we're also going to touch on X-Files, which premieres this month, and also the new show on USA, Colony.
Colony, that's right, on USA.
He's really excited about that.
I'm very excited about it. But first, Star Wars.
Star Wars, yes.
So we got to see Star Wars on December 17th, the day before it officially premiered, and the experience was really great.
Yeah, tell them about Darth Vader.
Yeah, so we drove past the movie theater getting ready to park, and we saw a Darth Vader.
Just like hanging outside,
He was just walking out with the lightsaber, everything from head to toe, and it's like, wow, like there's a Darth Vader here. I met the guy later, actually, and it turned out that the movie theater was sending him back to his car because you could not have lightsabers or helmets in the theater. Turned out to be a really awesome dude, really cool guy, but it was just so interesting that we thought, here comes imposing Darth Vader, and really he was being sent back to his car for being bad. So.
Yeah, he almost got kicked out. You were wearing the orange jumpsuit.
Yeah, I was wearing the X-Wing costume, and I had the chest control box thing, and the lady she said to me, "What is that?" And I was like, "It's a costume," and she's like, "We don't allow any costumes." And I said, "I beg to differ." I looked up your movie theater's policy. I can pull it up on my phone, and it actually says that you do. And then the guy was like, "Okay, you can come in." So it worked out. So we got there early. We got there probably about an hour early, and there were people all over the place lined up just to see this movie. We got great seats. We were able to do it and coordinate with about 6 or 7 other people. And what was so cool was that there were so many other fans that were there. There were other people in costume. There were people very excited, wearing T-shirts and all that kind of stuff.
The energy was great, and I loved when the movie actually started. People were clapping all the time. Whenever an old character came onto the screen, everybody got all excited and they were clapping. It was a very good energy. And
by the way, spoiler alerts are going to be so we're going to be talking about it. So if you don't want to know about it, then
just don't watch.
Yeah, don't watch. But I remember when the Millennium Falcon came on screen and everyone just
that was
cheers, and when they see it was so cool that the audience was really involved in not just watching the film, but the experience of enjoying it together was super cool. And then I had to go to the bathroom. I did not want to take a break from the film, but I had to.
Yeah, he planned it all out. He was like, I'm not going to have to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not drinking soda.
Halfway through.
But then I walked outside, and the next showing was already lined up, and a guy just saw me in the X-Wing costume, and his friends pointed at me, and they're just like, that is right. That is right. And it was so cool. It was awesome. So.
Yeah. Fun tip. I did not have a costume until 2 hours before, and I went as an Imperial officer. All you need is all black clothing, and then go online and look up the little pin thing. What is it called? The
rank badge.
The rank badge. Print it out, laminate it with tape, put it on a magnetic pin, and you're good to go.
And there are actually 1 or 2 YouTube videos out there that we'll post up for you that actually show some great last-minute Star Wars costumes if you're going to a convention coming soon. Maybe you're going to watch the movie again. Because I saw it twice, and even after the holidays, people were still coming in.
Good.
There was a kid Darth Vader and a kid Ben Kenobi behind me in the movie theater.
That's really cute.
So we'll post up some very easy, quick, do-it-yourself, cheap, make stuff out of what you have at home Star Wars costume tutorials. So we're going to talk about Star Wars in a couple parts. First, we're going to talk about the story. Second, we're going to talk about characters. And then we're going to talk about costumes, and finally, our favorite scenes.
My favorite part, or I guess the whole story, was they took elements of the old originals, some of the same plot twists and everything, but put a fresh twist on it. So you got that nostalgic feeling of, oh, this was my childhood, I loved it, or I was there in theaters when this first happened. But then you have the freshness of the new generation coming in. I liked that.
Yeah, I also enjoy just being excited about a movie again. I mean, I've enjoyed a lot of television and film, maybe too much, but I was really excited to be in that movie theater and to watch the film and to see these different things happening.
It's true.
It was like an adventure.
And from the beginning, like the moment the screen starts scrolling up, I was like, I don't want to leave the movie. Like, I don't want this to end. Like, the whole time you're thinking, this is so fun, this is great, all this stuff is happening, it's funny, it's adventurous. It was very good.
Absolutely,
very good.
Absolutely. And I know that there are, we won't get too much into it, but there's a ton of criticism
Negative,
out there.
Yeah.
Gosh, it's just like,
you're going to have that, I mean.
And I just feel like, and there's so much, I mean, for me, a man who probably owns more costumes than I own, suits and ties or whatever, I mean, it's just like, so I'm very clearly a nerd, but for people to criticize it so much on a level that I'm like, dude, you need to chillax.
Right, it was actually a good movie, in and of itself. Even if you aren't a huge fan of the franchise, it was a good movie.
Well, the level of criticism that's out there, I feel like
if
those people criticize like a movie like Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, oh my gosh, it would be like, well, why is she living out in the woods? Right. And what's the deal with the socioeconomic status of like the dwarves that they're subservient? I'm just like, dude, and it's like you're killing it, you're ruining it. I just want to be excited, and I don't care how, I want to be excited. And I really enjoyed it. So.
Yeah, it felt like being a kid again. It was sort of like...
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was really good.
Some people would say we still are kids, so...
At heart, definitely. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Favorite character?
They're all great,
yeah.
But I would say probably my favorite character, and not to just kind of jump a bandwagon, but it is Rey. I like Rey.
She's the main character for a reason.
Absolutely. I mean, because I think that for me, what the movie was about was really about discovering potential and like taking risks and leaps and bounds, and she could have waited on that planet for what she knows and continued to make her life doing that one thing, and played it safe. But every character in this story took a risk and subsequently got a greater reward for having done that. And I think that's like a really good message, especially for young people today. If you want greatness, you have to be willing to take risks.
I never thought about that. That's actually, that's great. Yeah. That's really good, actually, honestly. I didn't even notice that, but that's good. And even though I didn't ask, my favorite character is, BB-8. I loved BB-8. I know it's not a character. Well,
his
it's a character,
dialogue was on point.
Okay, his mute dialogue was awesome. Like, the way they communicated through him without any, a couple hand gestures, but without, any verbal stuff was really cute. But for human characters, I liked what they did with Kylo Ren because he was such an angsty teenager. Like it was an unusual character choice, and it worked. Like I didn't think they would go that far down the road of just he's like, an annoyed little teenager, but he really was, and that worked really well, and it made sense with everything that happened with Han Solo and all that stuff. So I liked what they did with his character.
Definitely, and I think really like. All of the characters in their own way, to kind of play off what I was saying earlier, they all are taking risks, some for bad purposes and some for good, but it's like really, I think that the next film will involve a little bit more of whoever the mentors are for these characters, because really you're dealing with people who really want to do something adventurous, whether it's for the First Order or for the Resistance, but there has to be some mentorship and some guiding, which is really what happened in the original trilogies.
Yeah.
That
Yoda,
eventually,
Obi-Wan.
Luke finds Yoda. So,
I'm so curious about what's that guy? Snooky? Not Snooky.
Snooky. So we've been following.
No, what is Snoke.
Somebody said it's basically Schmeagol, but
he really is. Yeah. I was like Gollum. Hello, like giant
that's
Gollum.
Where you've been.
Yeah, but I'm very curious. I have no idea who that is. I don't know if he's from the books or anything, but that I was very curious about his character and where they're going with that and his backstory. Like, who is this guy? Where has he been?
Well, you know, another good thing, if you're really interested in knowing more about The Force Awakens, do yourself a favor and read the books, the prequel books. So Star Wars Aftermath, these are a series of books that were written that are supposed to take place between Return of the Jedi and opening into The Force Awakens. And there's some really great character stuff in there.
But wait, okay, I thought the books had twins. Luke and Leia had...
Well, so there's the books that are considered like non-canonical anymore. And then these are the books that were written specifically to lead into The Force Awakens. So one of the great things that I enjoyed, spoiler alert, for the books is there was a woman who was a bomber pilot, a Y-wing pilot in Star Wars Return of the Jedi. Okay. And in the book, they unraveled that she actually like left her family to kind of go fight the rebellion, and in doing that, left her son behind to kind of pretty much fend for himself. Mm-hmm. Well, one of the main pilots that are featured in The Force Awakens, Snap Wexley, who is like a confidant, who's a friend of Poe Dameron, is the son of that woman bomber pilot. Mm-hmm. So there's some really neat character stuff in there, and if you go back and check it out, like, you know, it may actually explain a lot of these supposed like plot holes that you know naysayers are saying about Star Wars. So,
that's neat. Yeah, check it out.
Check it out. Mm-hmm. So one other thing that I liked about Star Wars was this return to like very bold and broad brush and clear characters. Good guy, bad guy, and that's it.
No gray areas.
Yeah, because, you know,
a little bit,
it was interesting. The first time that I noticed movies and television moving that way was when the movie Training Day came out years ago with Denzel Washington, where you question, like, is it okay for the good guy to do bad things sometimes? And I think you started to see a lot more film and television from that point where
now that's all you see.
Yeah, I mean, spoiler alerts, but Dennis Leary in Rescue Me is a heroic fireman, but he's also a drug user and an alcoholic. House of Cards, Kevin Spacey is the main character, but he's also a murderer.
He's an asshole.
Yeah, so it's just like I have grown tired of seeing that, because one of the reasons why I love TV and movies is to escape reality, and I feel like
it has been going way more.
Yeah, I've just become exhausted, of these tragic heroes with these huge flaws, and finally, a film with heroes and good people doing good things for the right reasons. So
yeah, definitely true. Now we're moving on to costumes.
Absolutely. I thought one of the great things was that the costumes in The Force Awakens held on to bits and pieces of the original trilogy, but really kind of pushed it a little bit further so that you knew that this was not in the same time. It was in the future.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like Rey's, I love anything with armbands. So Rey's costume with the armbands, it was reminiscent of Luke and Obi-Wan and everything, but slightly updated, a little cooler, a little chicer. I gotta call out Leia's dress at the end with the cute little. Remember this?
Okay.
I liked that. Yeah, that was different and unusual, but made her look a bit more like a princess. You know, like she really is.
And maybe there's some messaging in there that, you know, now that we've kind of gotten the band back together, maybe she is ascending to that a little bit. Yeah. You know, back to that role. But really loved it. If you couldn't tell, the X-wing pilot costumes. I thought that was really neat. Just there were slight modifications, and most fans already know this, but the Arabesh Star Wars language print on the actual vest actually says "pull to inflate." That's the translation. So it was a really neat kind of utilitarian kind of thing to include in a detail that I think fans love. So.
Yeah. Oh, Finn's jacket. I want Finn, or I guess originally Poe's jacket.
Yeah, and you can buy it.
Yeah, but children's size is only so far as I've seen.
No, well, I've seen they have it for adults, but then I've also seen like order from this website and you'll get $90 off, and it just makes me wonder, well, how much is the total cost of the jacket? I mean,
well, if it's leather, it's gonna be a lot,
yeah,
but it could be worth it. It could be worth it.
And and there is a Han Solo jacket out there that you can buy also if you're looking for it.
Of course. Oh, and I also have to say I loved the Stormtrooper, the red shoulder pad that delineated the leader.
The pauldrons.
Yeah, the pauldrons. Yeah, I thought that was a very good touch.
If you're interested, if you read the visual dictionary, if you read the art book, if you read Aftermath, it really gives you a lot of backstory. For example, like a lot of, probably nobody, but some people might wonder, after the Empire lost, how is it that they continued to like do all this arms and weapons and spaceship production? And according to the visual dictionary, some of the arms companies in that time frame were forbidden from providing weapons to the Empire at that point, but then created smaller, more secretive companies in further reaches. So if you want to know how the First Order got all of its weapons and still became this like really powerful military force, maybe check out the visual dictionary and there'll be some background there.
Yeah, it definitely feels like you kind of have to read either the visual dictionary or the books to fully get where we are when we get to Force Awakens.
It reminds me of being in college a little bit, where in theory, supposedly if you did the reading before the class, you would somehow get more out of it, but I never bought into that.
I always did. Winner.
No. So we're going to talk about our favorite scenes now. So did you have one or a few, or
okay? The one that immediately jumped out, BB-8 when he did the thumbs up sign with his lighter,
with the cigarette lighter,
and I loved that whole back and forth scene immediately preceding that between Finn and Rey. I thought that was a very good banter.
Yeah, it was all timing. That whole scene was just all timing. And so great that really they made really what's an inanimate object or animated object, something that like fans and people could relate to, and you believe the interaction. I mean, that's really incredible.
It had a personality to it, and that's hard to do with a robot. So
absolutely.
Yeah. What was your favorite scene?
I think one of my favorite scenes was, and I think a lot of people like this one, is when Rey is on Jakku, leaning against this wall while she's eating her crappy bread. I mean, I have
1/6 of a
gotten
portion.
some fruitcakes in my time that I didn't want to eat, but this green bread, and she's eating it, and she puts on that helmet and she looks to the sky, and to me that really suggested that she is really either searching for something more, or knows and believes that there's something more out there, but like yet she's grounded to like this kind of desolate, life, and then like boom, pan out, and she's leaning against like a downed, AT-AT, which was super cool, I thought.
And it was also very relatable. Everybody in that audience would have done the same. They would have put on that helmet and say, like, it was just exactly.
Absolutely.
That was a very good scene. So there's a scene that I thought was missing that I really, really wanted.
A missing scene.
A missing scene, literally.
Okay.
After, spoiler alert, Han died, I needed a scene between Leia and Chewie. Just like commiserating with each other over this man that they both love so deeply, and there was
nothing.
The two closest people to him, and it never happened. When they got back, Chewie walked off, got lost in a crowd, and Leia just hugged Rey. And I was like, come on, there needs to be some kind of emotion here.
Yeah.
That I did miss that scene.
There has been a lot of commentary about Chewbacca's bowcaster and how, like, if it was knocking people 50 feet away, how come when it hit Kylo Ren, why didn't it knock him over? And,
maybe stronger.
Yeah, I mean, that the power of the bowcaster scene might have been completely written just because Harrison Ford could deliver an awesome line and say, I like this.
Yeah.
And then at the end scene when Chewbacca shoots Kylo Ren, it really could have been, okay, well, somebody needs to do something because of what just happened. He's closer, they're up there, so Chewbacca, you do it, and we're just going to do and that's it.
And we're going to ignore
whatever.
Else.
Who cares? You know? I don't care about the I don't know, pressure per square inch of the bocap. Who cares? My other favorite scene, and when I talk about favorite scenes, I'm thinking about like what was the scene that conveyed the most emotion. You know?
Oh, I think of the funniest scene.
Oh, the funniest scene? It's not a comedy.
That's always my favorite scene.
What was the funniest scene?
BB-8 with the lighter. That's why I liked that scene and the banter. Go ahead.
Well then, funniest scene I would have to say was probably
Finn when he's like, I don't really know what to do, and Harrison Ford's like, that's not how you use the Force.
That's not how it works.
That's not how it works.
Use the Force? You're cold? There were, the truth is there were a lot of little funny parts of the film, and even more funny little quirky parts than in any of the previous films.
Yes.
And I think that relates humanity, to the characters. And I mean, just talking about...
Speaking of humanity.
Yeah.
Favorite scenes anywhere was when they gave stormtroopers humanity. Like
yes. Yeah, because before they were really just black and white, literally, automatons with no...
Yeah. You thought they might have been robots, you weren't quite sure.
Yeah. My dad and nephew both thought that actually initially that stormtroopers were robots. But when you make them angry, and when you make them
when he threw the weapons,
fearful,
that was so good.
Which part?
When he threw the weapons down, it was like traitor, just went after him with that crazy lightsaber saw thing.
And another plug for Star Wars Aftermath, the book,
explains that
they describe the potential relationship between Finn and the guy who's actually called Nines now. There was actually a group of stormtroopers that had become friends. And another spoiler alert, Captain Phasma in the book had been quoted as saying that she's concerned that he is dangerously compassionate, that Finn is dangerously compassionate, and he seems to care just about as much as his comrades as he does the mission, which is not what the First Order wants.
Right? Oh, that's
not
very
what they
good.
want,
Go read those books.
Yeah.
But
no, they added that human element.
And also when the stormtroopers are coming around the corner, there's two of them walking.
Oh, that was the best.
And they hear Kylo Ren
just like,
freaking out in the other room.
The other way. Which really leads to the next question is, why is any stormtrooper walking in any direction all over? Like, where are you walking?
What are they doing?
What's your destination? So.
Also, fun fact, James Bond, Daniel Craig, was the stormtrooper that called Rey scum, and then she ordered him to drop his gun and walk away and unshackle her. Yeah. That was James Bond.
And for Star Trek fans, Simon Pegg was the alien on Jakku that was giving food in exchange for parts.
No way!
So
really? Wow, it looked a lot like him.
So my last favorite scene, I think, is at the very end where there is no dialogue, but Rey hands that lightsaber to Luke Skywalker, and you can see so many questions, a little bit of despair, and also a little bit of hope, and you see all of that really just in her eyes, and that motion of handing out the lightsaber. And I thought that was incredibly a powerful way to end it. And that island is actually off the coast of Ireland.
Oh, really?
And according to some different things that I've read, that was actually inhabited by monks in something like the 16th century.
So fun.
So really neat that's where they chose to put Luke Skywalker, was on this island that used to be inhabited only by monks, centuries and centuries ago.
Good idea. It actually reminded me a lot of Lord of the Rings. That last scene where they're walking up the mountain and then it ends like the
Lord of the Rings has so much walking.
Yeah, they're walking a lot.
If they had like a fit tracker, it would be amazing.
But yeah, I'm just ending it on this note of, whoa, you want to find out what happens next? Like, oh my God, when is the next one? When is the next one coming out? 2 years? 2 years? Okay.
Yeah, 2 years. So if we have to, we can talk about a few other things that fellow nerds may be interested in the coming month.
X-Files! X-Files! Oh my god, I'm so excited! It's coming back after like 8 years or something, and it's going to have David Duchovny and Gillian Anderson again, and all the originals, and Smokey Man, and Skinner's back, and
it's amazing Smokey Man's still alive, by the way.
Oh my god, he looks so old.
Cigarettes that he's been throwing down. It's enough tar to build an interstate, but yeah,
I'm glad he made it back. So it debuts on Fox on January 24th at 10 p.m. It's a Sunday, and then immediately on the 25th it shows again at 8 p.m., which is going to be its standard slot. Mondays at 8 p.m. It's a 6-run episode series. And it's they have a great behind the scenes, like a long 20-minute film about it on Fox.com if you want to go see that. I definitely recommend it. And it's supposedly going to touch on the mythology of the series in the first and last episodes, definitely. But in between will be all of our favorite, monster-oriented and supernatural-oriented shows. So I'm very excited for that. And in the movie, they showed a couple scenes, and you have those iconic cross beams of light going. It looks like they kept the feel of the original, much like Star Wars. They kept the feel of the original, but they're also dealing with new themes, like they've gotten older, they're middle-aged. What have they done? How are they feeling about it? Their relationship, they're no longer together, and it's very interesting I'm excited to see what they do with that.
Yeah, I'm excited too, because I watched it a lot as a kid when I was in high school. Yeah, I was really like, I remember watching the first episode when it came out.
Wow, I think I was like 5.
It was a 2-parter. The first I think the first episode was 2 parts, maybe.
I can't remember.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but it was just always really cool how there would be something more psychologically thrilling, every week, and then just kind of still grounded in a world that we know. But I always loved the Smoking Man and just like this mysterious kind of situation and this board of people. I mean, it was all neat to me.
Did you like the mythology stuff about aliens more, or the random one?
Like both, but I really would enjoy how the X-Files would like bring you this like one thing that was based in some kind of like urban legend or myth, and then it would be like, maybe that's real.
I know. They'd make it seem,
and some of those episodes would keep
that
me
idea.
up too.
Yes.
Because I was a kid watching it. But
that one guy with the sucker face, do you remember that? He lived in the sewers.
Yes. Yeah, I remember.
That kept me up.
The sewer worker went like, and he went to like the doctor's office and like, like everything's fine, and everything was not fine. At all.
Yeah. So. Oh, I do wish they brought back Krychek. Do you remember Krychek?
Yes. Do you remember the episode with the guy with he heard like this high-pitched noise?
Ooh, yes.
And it was only when Mulder would like drive the car really fast that he could like deal with it. So see, I'm more of an X-Files fan than you think.
Shut up. Nuh-uh. He lies all the time. But yes, so set your calendars for that, because that's going to be really exciting. Really exciting.
So one show that I am particularly excited about is Colony, and they have been promoting all over conventions in the last couple months.
I actually haven't seen anything.
Yeah, at New York
Really?
Comic Con, they did New York Comic Con and Comic Con, I think, in San Diego, and they have these 2 huge army trucks pull up that are all black, and like 20 people get out in all black fatigues and tactical gear and these red berets, and you're like, what is going on? And then they're
Is
like,
this real?
yeah, and then they're just like, hey, take a selfie with us and post it, and you get $10 off food in the convention center. I was like, sweet.
Why not?
Can I do it twice?
Limit.
So that's where I got interested in the show, was at New York Comic Con back in the fall. And right now, you can actually watch the pilot episode online before it premieres on USA.
Wow. When does it premiere?
It premieres, I think, the 14th or so. I'd have to double check online to be sure. But the great thing, and I already watched the pilot, and what I will tell you, and there's nothing about the story I'll tell you. I mean, enough that's out there that's basically that aliens have taken over the country, maybe the world, but you don't see any aliens because they're ruling all by proxy.
It's such a cool idea. It's a different idea.
It is, and the actors, if you liked, I didn't like the character.
The guy, blonde from Lost.
Yeah, so a very attractive man. Women will like it. A very irresponsible mother from Walking Dead. What was her name again? Anyway, that lady's in it as a mom again. So let's see if she doesn't mess it up this time around. But the great thing about this show is that every character is written in such a way that they introduce a part of that world. So it really takes the stress off of the world building aspect of a film, where like you see a little bit more of that world through each character's eyes. And so there's really a purpose rather than in some ensemble casts, movies and TV shows, people complain about like, well, this person didn't really have a role. Just every person has a role, and even if it's just showing you a little bit more of that world. So definitely check out Colony on USA. And that's this episode of Continuity 360. Thank you very much, especially to all of the folks who gave us comments and input and their thoughts on Star Wars The Force Awakens. There were so many that we had to kind of edit, but we are going to try as much as possible to include all of your thoughts because they are meaningful and valuable to us. Yes, we greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. And so stay tuned for the next episode, which will be early in February, and we'll be covering some exciting topics then as well. And we'll see you then. May the Force be with you. Bye. No. Not first. Yep. No. No. Yeah. No. You do like. Oh yes. Thanks. You just breathed too hard. Excuse me. Is there anybody even working here? Held on to the original pieces and parts that made Star Wars what it was, but clearly showed a little bit of advancement into the future. Sure. What's your favorite? What are some of the costumes that you? Point of view, Rey's costume was very cool because I love anything with arm stuff involved, like wrapping and everything. That was very cool, and it was. Mummies. Sorry. I am an archaeologist, though. Great insight. That's a great insight. And as Han Solo would say, I know. But to truly be excited and exhilarated by and in a movie. I think that. Oh, look at that. What? My tie was out front, like this. Because our audience is really going to care about that. They're going to be like, you wear a tie? I have followers that actually just comment about what I wear. Yeah, right. I have a fashion I've had blog, way more comments on my fashion. Hanson's Heating, Vacuum, and Air Condition Repair. With discounts, we are union and available to service anywhere. Right. I'm doing something else. This isn't. Should we do a little intro and be like, we're going to cover story, character. Something for everyone, a comedy tonight. Welcome to episode 4, and in this episode we're going to talk obviously about Star Wars. We haven't talked about how we feel about it. Yeah, everyone's talking about it. To be honest, I'm getting a little tired of it. Okay, that's coming right out. I know, okay. But I really am. If you don't get it right, we're going to do another episode on Star Wars. So we saw Star Wars on December 17th, the day before it made its big release. That sounds inappropriate. Stupid. Okay. Sorry. Okay, I'll just say it on this. Can I have a different pen? Okay, he's not being serious. Don't do it. What the hell is this? Oh my god, that's awesome. I am not a Doctor Who fan. Use it. This is a lie. Use it. Put it in your pocket. No, I'm not doing that. Yes, put it in your pocket. No, what is this? Please put it in your pocket. No, this is a. Come on, this is lying. Put it in your pocket. Put it in your pocket. No, you do it. You put it in your pocket. I don't have a pocket. Well, then next time wear sensible clothes. Come on.